Reach review time with Imperial, and today's review will be Doctor Strange Part 2, the Multiverse. Let's get into it. So subscribe to the channel, like the video. So after all the change of events through, if you've been following the whole movies and series on Disney Plus and everything with the Marvel series, it brings us to Doctor Strange 2, where at first I didn't like Doctor Strange, and then I had to go back and watch part 1, and then I understood it. Brings us to 2 after all the events. And I thought, I've been watching the Moon Knight series, I thought the Moon Knight series would kind of play into it, but it really didn't. The Moon Knight series probably is going to play more into Thor, the Thor series. So nevertheless, this picks up where one of the multiverses, Strange, and what we don't know, he's running with a girl. We don't find out who she is, but her name is America Chavez. And we find out that inside of the multiverse that she was in with Strange, he pretty much was going to take her power, saying that that was the only choice in order for humanity to survive. That was the only choice, and he had to take her powers. But it ended up not working out, and she ran to grab this book, which you didn't know at the time what the book was for. And when she went to grab the book, she pretty much got scared and opened up a portal and went through it. You don't notice at the time. This is just how the opening scene. Present day, and the Strange that we all know, he wakes up out of it, what he thinks is a dream, but really he's seeing what his alternate multiverse person is seeing. So he thinks it's a dream, and he pretty much is like, he's confused on what's going on. Meanwhile, his old girlfriend Christine Palmer is getting married. He shows up to her wedding, and when he's sitting down waiting for her to walk down the aisle, Dr. West sits next to him, pretty much saying, you know, he's been grieving because he lost his brother, and during the 5 years he was missing, he lost his brother. So he pretty much asked Strange, was the way he chose, was it more than one way, or it only could have been the way that he said that that's the only opportunity that they had. Of course, Strange said it's the only, with the way that he chose that they had to follow, that was the only way. But of course, it's the multiverse, so it's always an alternative. That's just the best way that he chose. And after that, he watched his old girlfriend get married. She came to see him in a receptionist. They had a talk, and she asked him, is he happy? And he was like, yeah, knowing he was lying. And he started hearing some disturbance, and then all you see is this big monster with tentacles tearing up stuff, but everybody else can't see it. So he used his power so he could see it, what it was. He comes to find out that it's the girl that he was dreaming about was right there, and this monster was after her. So of course he's fighting the monster along with Wong. And I must say that they should do a series with Wong on like Disney Plus, and like get more into his character, because I think every time he's in his scenes, he steals the show. And maybe that's why, because we don't get enough of Wong. I think Wong is a great character. Nevertheless, after they defeat the thing with tentacles, they ask the girl, like, who are you? She tells them who she is, and what are you doing here? So her powers is she can travel from multiverse to multiverse, but she doesn't know how to control it. She pretty much does it on accident, like when she's in fear of something, she pretty much reacts and jumps into another portal. So what Strange does is he goes reaching out to Wanda and asks Wanda some questions about the Darkhold and the Book of Ashanti. And Wanda, she does know about it. And he told her it was like they were walking to like this lovely forest, and he said it was like an apple tree she was burning. I said burning, growing. And he said it almost looks real. She said, oh, it is real. But he could tell she was using magic. So she thought that she was coming to question her about what she did, and she overstepped her boundaries. He wasn't coming to question about that. He's coming to ask her about, the Darkhold and all that stuff that she knew. And he said, she asked him, so you're keeping America? And he stopped because he knew he never mentioned her. So at that point, Wanda was pretty much like, well, she revealed everything. She really was in this whole dark world. And she pretty much told him she's the one who's been sending the monsters and everything after America, and she wants her power so that she could go find her kids. And they was basically like, why would you want to take this innocent woman's innocent kids' powers and sacrifice it so that your personal gain of getting your children? And she pretty much was telling Dr. Strange, well, I will let you be in a universe where you could be with Christine or whatever. So he wasn't with it. She pretty much told him, well, by this time frame, if y'all don't give her up, I'm gonna wreak hell on y'all, and it won't be Wanda coming to meet y'all, it'd be the Scarlet Witch. So Strange went back. He pretty much went and told Wong they took America to Komor Taj. It was like an area where all the sorcerers linked up together to use their power to go against Wanda and to protect America or whatever. Meanwhile, what you get to see in this whole movie, where basically Wanda is the villain, Scarlet Witch rather, and you get to see how powerful Scarlet Witch is, like how powerful she can be. And you were always hearing rumors like she's one of the most powerful beings in all of Marvel Universe, and that she could have killed Thanos. Remember back in the Avengers, not Endgame, the first one, and she was using her powers, but she didn't fully know how to use her powers, and then she was pulling the strength, and Thanos couldn't do whatever, and so she had to let it go through. But they saying that she really could have killed Thanos at that moment, so who knows? But yeah, nevertheless, you get to see the whole movie how powerful Scarlet Witch is, and she was wreaking havoc, and she didn't care who she was killing in the process. So she managed to get through everybody, and they opened a portal. American Chavez opened a portal. Wong got hit off the cliff somewhere, and they opened a portal, and Strange and her traveled through all these different dimensions and portals and multiverses, and you got to see it was a cartoon multiverse and everything. Now I want to add a tidbit, like those of you who really into it, if you watch the What If series on Disney Plus, where it was like a cartoon series, like What If this, so a lot of that plays into this Doctor Strange too. So part of the What If series, there was a part where instead of Steve Rogers being the first Avenger, the first Avenger was Peggy Carter. So this is what you're going to see in this multi-series. So what happens is Strange goes to the sanctuary in that multiverse, and Strange is dead. The Strange in that multiverse is dead, and he runs into his old pal Mordo. And we know Mordo didn't like Strange and always said he was going to get back at him. But he embraced him, so you think. He poisoned him, put him to sleep. When Strange and America woke up, they was inside of these cubes. And Strange was getting sanctuary to the Illuminati. Now, the Illuminati was consisted of Captain Peggy Carter, Captain Marie Rambeau. We also seen her in the Wanda series, but this is just another universe of her. And Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four. So we know the Fantastic Four movie is getting revamped. So this Reed Richards is going to be the one that's leading that one. And then King Black Bolt. And lastly, Professor Xavier. So it didn't really, they basically saying the multiverse was always here. And mutants was always here as well. And you don't get too much in detail, but this is really to open you up the introduction to the X-Men coming to the Marvel universe. Nevertheless, Strange is telling them that Wanda is, so what Wanda could do where she's at, she could summon the version of her in that multiverse and use that version to wreak havoc on that multiverse. So that's basically what Wanda is doing. But what happens is Wanda, every time she goes and does it, that version of her always gets called by the kids, and the kids that she been looking for, she ended up going to the catering to the kids and then don't go. But this time she was able to get away from the kids, and now she's going to that area where Strange America is to wreak havoc. So she's killing everybody in sight, the Sentinels and everything. Strange is still in front of the Illuminati. He's telling them like, yo, y'all need to let me go because she's going to get America. So at that location, Christine Palmer, that version, multiverse version, is there, and he tells her pretty much like, whatever happened between you and Strange, you know, I'm different. And she really like, yeah, whatever. He like, whatever, just don't let nothing happen to America. And so after all them go and fight Scarlet Witch, Xavier tells Mordo to let Strange go and let him get to the Book of Ashanti so that he can help save what's going on. Mordo is defiant, and him and Strange get into a fight. Eventually Strange get loose and Christine Palmer comes through, but that not before America was able to use her powers to punch through the glass. Now, it's a lot of fight scenes during this whole movie that keep you in tune. This fight scene was good because it got to see Scarlet Witch. She fought all those people in the Illuminati, and she pretty much killed them all in that universe. Pretty much easy too. Only one I think put up the best fight was Maria Rambeau. She put up the best fight, I think. And then even Xavier, she just snapped his neck like it was a twig. He tried to do the mind games crap, and she just came in. You've seen that Scarlet Witch had a spell on the Wanda Maximoff was hidden. He was trying to release her, and Scarlet Witch just came and just snapped his neck like a twig. Nevertheless, Strange got with America. Christine told him, I'm gonna show you where the other Strange kept the Book of Ashanti, and Wanda was dragging her feet trying to get through. So it was a lot of like, if this was like a horror movie, a lot of pop-up Wanda popping up, skulls, all types of stuff like that. So nevertheless, they got to the Book of Ashanti, and Strange got to the book, but Wanda came and fried the book and took America to shot her through a portal, shot Strange and them to another portal. Now what happens in real time, where the real Scarlet Witch is, she has the book, not the book, the Darkhold book, and one of Wong's soldiers came and stabbed the book to burn the book, and Wong, she said she would kill the remaining people. Wong didn't tell her where to get another book, and then he told her where it was, and that's where she took and picked America Chavez's, and pretty much was going to take her powers there. Meanwhile, Wong flew off of the cliff, and he had to make his way up. Meanwhile, Strange went to another portal with Christine, and where he met a version of himself who had the Darkhold book himself. And that's where in the trailer you see the Strange with the third eye in the head. And so this Strange was real dark. And then what happens is, it's a cool scene where they using music notes to fight with each other, and it's making moves. So I'm pretty sure if you're watching this on 3D, it was real magical and all that part right there. So they battle, and present day Strange killed him, and then he had to summons a body. So when the scene first started, that Strange where you first see America, that Strange was killed, and so they had his dead body, and Strange was able to use that dead body in that world to go and help America Chavez, and it did. And went some theatric moments with that. They end up stopping Wanda, and of course Wanda was too strong. And what America Chavez did, that version of Strange told her, hey, you just got to believe in yourself. You can do this, and you can control your powers. And she did, and she pretty much what she did. Wanda's too strong, but what she did was pit the Scarlet Witch in front of the kids, because they kept telling Wanda, what if you get in front of the kids? What's going to happen to the Wanda in that universe? She basically said, I kill that Wanda, and I'll be the kid's mother. But what they got to see is, that the kids rejected her because of they looked at her as a witch. They didn't look at her as her wholesome mom. And so that hurt her, and she pretty much knew that wasn't the right thing to do at the end. And she pretty much killed the books of Darkhold books in every multiverse. And it pretty much ended like that in a sense. Chavez, they took her to the Kamora so she could learn and practice her how to use her powers. And Strange went walking down the street at the end, and he caught a big headache, and he dropped on the ground. And when he said and came back, the third eye popped in his head like it did when that Dark Strange. And so from there, it's that was what happens directly at the end of the movie. There's two post-credit scenes. The first post-credit scene is while Strange is walking, a woman named Clea comes out of a portal and tell Strange that all that he did is started an incursion. And so Clea is like a sorceress in her multiverse, and told Strange, like, we gotta go stop it. You in? And Strange pretty much said yeah, and they jumped through the portal. The last second post-credit scene it was a scene when Strange and America Chavez came into this one universe, and a guy at a pizza stand, Chavez didn't pay for the food, and he started complaining, and he was told, because he knew in his universe Strange was dead, so he pretty much told this, like, oh, you the fake Strange, you must have stole the costume. And so Strange used his powers and put a spell on him to keep smacking himself for 2 weeks. So what you find out at the end of the second post-credit scene is that guy comes back after the spell is over, or whatever. And that was it. Overall, decent film. A lot to cover, to pay attention to if you've been following the whole Marvel series. Out of my 4-star rating system, I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 4 stars. Decent enough. Wasn't the best Marvel film, but I followed it. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.